Shalom everybody, here Daniel, One Love Caravan again. We continue with our history slash education lessons. Here now, what do I have here in my hand? It is the Black Star airliners, lighter than air, aircraft or airship, right? And this is the Mount Kilimanjaro. And yes, I painted this by myself for sure. And what is this all about? So we stuck here in the history, right? When the Vatican, let's say, conquered the Iberian Peninsula, right? And we're gonna now a little bit further, yeah, in history, and then we go to more technology, right? So we switch a little bit. We just go quick over the history that yes, the African continent got colonized, right? And the people get carried away as slaves, yeah. And we will go more in depth, like how this went on again with this manipulation, with the hypnosis, with the whole mind control, let's say, systems coming out of Switzerland and England and the Vatican and this kind of places, right? So again, after this the slave trade, let's say the slave trade, the 440 years as it is also described in the scriptures, yeah, what happened then? The people originally from Africa, yeah, they spread all over the world, but mainly to the Americas, yeah, to the Americas. That's why you have in Brazil and in the Caribbeans, and you have in the whole all over America, from the Patagonia until Alaska. Yeah, you can find African people, and that, yeah, they brought there against their will, isn't it? Yeah. So if someone from the diaspora again wants to go back to Africa nowadays, it is very difficult. It is very difficult. Why? Because again, the whole system of borders, passports, airports, all right, it is controlled by Babylon. Again, it's controlled by the very ones who control the money system and the pharmaceutical industry, the ones who make the wars, the ones who steal the resources because they don't have, you know, they live over their how does it called? Over the standard of living. It's like it's just a waste, you know. Why should 1,000 people suffer because just one need every day 10, you know, 10 plates of food, and every day needs to go with a helicopter to work? Because even in Ceuta, we stayed 1 year in Ceuta. Even in Ceuta, there is people, they go to Ceuta every day to work with a helicopter. Right. So again, if we go now further on, so we have Marcus Mosiah Garvey, right? So he had the whole, he made this movement, right, for the Afro-Americans to have an identity. He told them that they have a culture, they have a history, and he said, okay, look to Africa, look to the east, because a king will be crowned. And yeah, you know this story, right? So again, what is the whole Pan-African movement? It is to bring back the African people who have been carried away yes, as a slaves against their will, yes, and then put in ghettos, and the whole system is racist. Don't tell me, because I am white and with blue eyes, and I grew up in Switzerland, and I can tell you the people there are just racist by culture, right? So I was accepted in Switzerland as Swiss because I look alike and I talk like, yeah. But as my father is a Portuguese, you know, and I know how racist these people are, you know. And I never was a racist. I never had no feelings against, the opposite, the other way around. Actually, I feel more safe with black people around me. Yes, that's a true fact. Than with white people. But yeah, we can later on go in these depths, right? But we're talking about now the history, right? That yes, the idea is that's why repatriation it's a must. It means, yeah, first of all, in Rastafari, right? The black Africans who been carried away as slaves, yeah. Yeah, sure, everyone is used as a slave in the system. This is true, right? But there's only the black Africans being carried away as slaves in chains and all these things. So we have to be real, yes, with the history. So, and why that? Because they are the physically and spiritually strongest people. So they want, the system want to control them, actually would like to erase them, yeah, and just keep a few for breeding. That's really what they do. They use the people like cattle, everyone. But the original people from the equator, yeah, the original people, yes, they've been used to work in the burning sun because they're only ones able to do this. Yes, physically, because I would burn in the sun and would get all red and my skin will fall off. That's true. And I would not even see nothing because it's too bright. Seriously. So, for sure, this should be a priority. That's why I'm saying, like, what is about a Rototom festival and like these big organizations who supposedly who have influence, you know, in society, yeah, more influence than politics. Rototom festival in Spain has more influence in society than the church and then politics. Yes, that can tell you, because many years, that was my holiday. I would live off grid in Portugal, but every year I would go this week to Benicassim to the Rototom festival, right? And then there was the pandemic, and then also we had our daughter and this, and so we could not go. But then we now the last two years we assisted the Rototom festival. It's already digital, it's cashless, it's or you go with the flow, yeah, of Babylon, and or they will go after you, right? They will persecute you here in Europe. That's why I'm saying to everybody, so like the future for everything, you know, we have to orientate ourselves to Africa, you know, and that's the original plan, because Africa, again, is where everything coming from, and there we have to go back, because this is the plan, yeah? So centralize, organize is the original plan, and repatriation, it's a must. So, yeah, for sure, I want to go to Africa because long time, I always wanted to live in Africa, right? But again, it is kind of, you have to be very strong to go out of the Babylon headquarters, yeah? And fight, because you will have no support at all. You have to like myself, you have to survive and to fight, yeah, really hard. It's only with the faith. With faith can move mountains. It's very important. And I show you just here some things, like what he's saying here is Bruno Gröning again. Bruno Gröning, born 1906 in what is today Poland, but at the time this was German Empire. The North Germany there called Danzig, Oliva. Danzig, Oliva called the place. He was born there, and yeah, he was a healer, right? And no one knows about him, but he would say, what he's saying here, lo puramente divino no tiene limites. Yeah? So the divine one, the pure divine one has no limits, okay? Here with the earth, again, look with the globe. Yes, so again, very important to understand that we live in a solar system and the things are turning around and all this. So there is no flat earth thing. The flat earth is coming from the church and all these things. See how deep the manipulation goes. Yeah? So this will show us the truth, right? Because if you listen to Bruno Gröning, you will recognize the truth. Yeah? And then you will read about him in Wikipedia, and then you will see the lies, right? And it's like everything, you know? Like we 1 year, we stayed in Ceuta, as you can see, 1 year in Ceuta. Why? Because they didn't let us out. But we have the international passport, the world citizen passport, which is based on Article 13. Again, so Article 13 is a human right. What is freedom of movement? Yes, and they don't follow. So we have all proven. So, for example, I will show you, just that you know, that I have everything here. Just a second. Here we go. Okay. I have everything documented because they say they don't want to accept the passport, right? The world citizen passport, right? So the world citizen passport now is made by emitted by a movement called the World Service Authority, okay? And the one who started this movement is called Gary Davis, yes? And he was an American soldier in the Second World War, yes? So he was actually bombarding parts of Germany in the Second World War, but he was an actor in Broadway originally. So he understood what they are doing, yeah? His country, it's not good, and he with his passport, with his American passport, he has the freedom to travel wherever he wants in the world. But he also has to bombard innocent people, you know. So after the Second World War, you know, the Human Rights Declaration got like the Human Rights Declaration got created, okay, and this has everything to do with Kedamawi Haile Selassie, because, yeah, study the history, right? Haile Selassie came with the human rights, so he imposed it. Haile Selassie imposed the world the human rights. Yes? So human rights is not something from the system, for sure not. The system don't want you to have no rights at all. Yeah, they want to have your wrongs. Yeah, they want you at all to be devilish and wrong. Yeah? So Haile Selassie wanted the people to be right. So he put their rights. And he imposed that on the governments. That's why the United Nations, yes, they had to put the human rights in their charter. Like, it is their law. It is the basis of law. The laws we have nowadays, it's based on human rights. It's a pyramid of law, right? It's a hierarchy of laws, and the human rights is the foundation, right? And the foundation, it's in the holy mountains. And anyhow, look, the truth will be revealed. It's a revealing. If not, we could not speak like that to you guys. Anyhow, Bruno Gröning now, he said, die Wahrheit allein hat Bestand. So that means only the truth will stay in the end. Bruno Gröning now, again, he burned inside because he was not able to heal. You can see his throat. Through the throat would go the healing stream. This is how do they call it? A gland he had here. And yeah, we can explain this scientifically nowadays, right? Because we have the computer nowadays and all this digital technology. Bruno Gröning would make the parallels. He would explain everything. Also with he would put the metaphors. You know, he would put parallels. He would explain it with technology. For example, he would compare the human body with an antenna, with a battery, you know, and with a radio. He said you have to tune into the healing stream and all these things. So he would compare the human body with the technology available at the 40s and, you know, in Germany at the time. So nowadays, as we have computer, you must see, the computer was invented at this time, like the first computers at this time, in the 50s, and they were giants. They weighed tons, yeah. And nowadays they have their smartphone, you know, iPhone filming, yeah. It's like, you know, we are already there in the sci-fi future. That's why real life and movies don't separate no more. And some are carry the microchip, some are already cloned. Eh? And these lyrics they have quite some years actually. It's from one Benjamin, Midnight, and quite some years, right? So check it. Bruno Gröning now. His last message to the public was that he calls everyone to the great return. He said, die große Umkehr, zurück zu Gott, zurück zur Natur. So back to God, back to nature, he said. Right? Because he said, God is nature, is health, he is the order, the divine order. You know, like the helicopters passing here. Helicopter, right. So we go into history now. History, and I will show you and explain you. This is the Hindenburg, right? And there is other flying saucers and stuff, you know. Can you see here? This is from Porsche, you know, Porsche. And no, not Porsche, sorry, Rolls-Royce. This is quite ancient, yeah? This is from 1954. This is from 1954 here. And this is from Rolls-Royce. Look, it looks like a drone. Yes, from 1954. Here you have something also quite ancient. And this is in how is it called? You can like... there's air inside, right? So look at this. So the Western world always, the Western mind, yes, the Babylon mind, they always like the Tower of Babel, yeah? Isn't it that Nimrod, you know, isn't it that they wanted they go to the sky, they wanted to go to the sky, yeah? That's why they want to go to the moon, and they want to go to Mars, and they want to go somewhere very high, you know. So the dream of flying, yeah, flying is a Babylon mind, yeah. Because again, if you, yeah, if you don't have no wings, right, yeah, why should you want to fly? Yeah, maybe if nature wants you to fly, then wings will grow, right? Anyhow, so it's their madness to I want to be the first who flies. I want to be the one who flies faster. You know, the first one who flies over the ocean. Yeah, so that's why it's this Portuguese Gago Coutinho, these people, the first two ones who flew over the Atlantic Ocean, right? It's like Vasco da Gama, the first one who these people were completely sick and mad, because these people, they thought the earth was flat, yeah, at the time. The people, they did not know of they did not know of America. Just some people, yes, like Colombo and these people, you know what I mean? Some people had maps and they knew about the routes, and yeah, but the population, the population manipulated by the church and all this, they had no idea. No idea. They were not able to read. It was forbidden for them to read and write. So they could not read even the Bible. They could just go to the church and listen to what the preacher is saying, the priest there, but they could not read and write. And there was no school for them people. The school was only for these kings, and yeah, and it was the church who was the school. So again, it's a big manipulation. So anyhow, what people can know about that? They cannot know anything, yeah? But the ones who built the pyramids and the ones who build everything, for sure they know. So this kind of technology now, right? So we have it here. We have here the project. It's saying here, implementation of lighter than air German, okay, technology for development in Africa. Okay, it's German. It's the Germans who made it famous, right? So it was Count Zeppelin, right? So Ferdinand von Zeppelin, who is a royalty. This is royalty, right? So it's royalty from Germany, and he was also in the military. So he was in the military and aviation and all this, so he knew about technology, and his idea, his dream was to build this. Balloons were already used there in 18 something, you know, for war, for watching, you know. So we know that's gas. Gas is lighter than air. That's why the gas, yeah. So the balloon you get for children, this balloon, what is inside is helium, right? So at this time, look at this picture. Here we go. This is 1920 in Rio de Janeiro. So 1920, more than 100 years ago, this big 300 meter so-called Zeppelins, airships, Luftschiffe, they would go everywhere, yeah, but mostly to the Americas from Germany. And again, 1920 now, this year, 1920, right? So before the Second World War. So the Germans here, they would go, again, royalty, people who have the the means to do that, the opportunity, they fly to Brazil, right? With that. Hundreds of these aircrafts everywhere. Okay. And this needs no petrol, right? So at the time, this was with hydrogen. Not helium, hydrogen, right? So again, we talk about history now. History, and again, like this, the international passport now, the international, we have, because we talk about, listen, don't get confused. Article 13, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, freedom of movement, right? Everyone has the right to freedom of movement, to cross borders. African people carried away against their will in chains, and they worked 440 years in chains, right? We as a family, I see my wife born in Africa from Angola and brought here because of war. There's a daughter, Ashanti. Ashanti means because of war. Check it. Ashanti is a kingdom. We as a royal family, we are actually sovereign. Yeah, we are a royal nomadic family. Again, I am a mix of so many ethnic groups. Again, I have gypsy, so-called gypsy, yeah, blood. We would come from India, and also again from the word gypsy also coming from Egypt. So Egypt, they were called Egyptians, or then in German Zigeuner, yeah, because they were this means Ziehende Gauner. It means actually thieves, yeah, thieves. Because actually, yeah, unfortunately, as we got discriminated all the time, yeah, because gypsies, yes, you know, then of ethnic group they would be referred as Rom or Sinti, or you know, there is like groups, yeah, and there is also the language, the Rom language, the Gypsy language, yeah, it is Indian, let's say it's Indo-Aryan, I think so. That is linguistically, it's Indo-Aryan language. So check. So we got persecuted the same as the Jews, yeah, in the Second World War by the Fascista, by the Nazis. So the Nazis, they would go after the Jewish, yeah, the Jew, but also against the Gypsy, the same, right? And against other groups. Yeah, so check this out. So many so-called gypsies, yes, like my ancestors, yeah, they got killed in these concentration camps in Germany, right? Again, in these concentration camps, for sure, there, it's not what they tell you, eh? This where the people there, they had to work, right? They not just got in a chamber with gas, and this is all. No. Don't be confused. Eh? If you have war prisoners and you can use them for working, yes, you use them for working, to prepare stuff and for war, yes. But anyhow, the thing is that we have to study the history. So the World Citizen Passport, again, Gary Davis, he started a movement, which is, he wrote a book, and he said, my country is the world, right? He's the first one who renounced his nationality. He put away the American passport, and this is the World Citizen Passport here we have. It exists since the 50s. Again, the 1950s, many things happened because it was after the Second World War. Human rights be implemented, this and that. So we talk about history, serious stuff, because now we go in this. So it was all this idea to have a free world, yes, to have international morality, to have rights, to have morality, like one nation helps another, yes, and not to have a war, but to help. Imagine someone has now some difficulties because there was a tornado or a tsunami, like in Thailand was tsunami, like in America there is a tornado, or there and then that's like an earthquake, you know. And so the neighbor now, other nation which has too much food, too much resources, yeah, they could come and help the other ones who are in the in a like a catastrophic situation, right? So consider Haile Selassie was the first head of state visiting Germany after the Second World War, yes, and he would help Germany, and he would help the people. He would bring coffee, and he would again, you know, Germany in war, people suffering, people refugees. Bruno Gröning, he was captured by the Russians, yes, and he was there in the war, in prison, yes. So he was a refugee. After that, he had their own organization to help the refugees, because the Germans everywhere, the Germans now, they had to flee also after the war, yeah, and they all went back to Germany, you know, and the people were all sick, and so they got healed when they when they had the faith and when they listened what Bruno Gröning said. So Bruno Gröning helped the refugees because he also suffered all these things, you know, like be persecuted, be captured, be put in prison, all these things, be forced to go in war, yeah, to be forced to, they just take you and, you know, they put you there at the front line, yeah. And he said, you can put me at the front line, I will not kill no one, you know. That's true. That we have to study that stuff. And anyhow, so Bruno Gröning now, they said no limit, no limit. One world, one love, and no borders, right? And Haile Selassie actually want that, yeah? And Count Zeppelin probably also wanted that, because we have now something, again, Marcus Garvey wanted to bring back the Africans back to Africa, right? So suddenly we have human rights. Suddenly we have the Article 13. We have even a world citizen passport. We have all this stuff, yeah? But again, the speech of Haile Selassie is saying, until the philosophy that holds one man superior and the other inferior, and until the color of a man's skin, you know, is not longer significant than the color of his eyes, and all this kind of speech, which is very important. He said there will be war until these basic human rights are not guaranteed to everyone. So there will be war. So that's why Peter Tosh said, I don't want no peace, I want equal rights and justice, you know. Because then will be peace. When we have equal rights and justice for all, then there will be peace. So thank you very much for watching this, and see you just in a few moments. All right, the continuation. Then we go deeper into technology, okay, and science. All right. Yes, I. Thanks. Bless.